So now this is called as the GIU of the software. So that is nothing but graphical user interface of the software, where from where you can enter into the workbenches. As I have told you in the last class, we have how many workbenches?
5, sir.
Sorry, six.
Yes, sir.
So one is Sketcher, 3D modeling, surfacing, sheet metal, assembly, and drafting. Okay, so these are all the six workbenches. But in CATIA, we have around 119 workbenches. If you can notice, to get those workbenches, where you have to go is you have to click on this start. Okay, so once you click on this start, you'll get it. So infrastructure you have. So what we do is in the mechanical designs, so shapes, analysis and simulations, AEC, machining, digital mockup, equipments and system, digital process, machining simulations. So economic designs and analysis. This is done on humans. Okay. So knowledge where, and this is nothing but what we say. This is called as that online help you'll get from this VPM navigator. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
next we have, this is nothing but this is totally for online. Once you get connect to this one of the people from Dassault, you'll directly get every each and every help from them. So next what we have is called file, in which you'll get each and everything. So edit, view, insert, toolbar, window. So these things will be used from edit. It is only used when you are working with a model. Okay. So
Okay,
to
sir.
enter into any workbench, so as I have told you, if you go to the start mechanical design, you can notice Sketcher, part design, so generative sheet metal design, so wireframe and surface design, so assembly as well as sketch drafting. Okay, so these six workbenches we are going to learn in our upcoming classes. So the first workbench what we are going to learn, so it's called a sketcher, right? So here you have the sketcher. So once you select this, so it will directly enter. Sometimes a dialog box will be checked on and it will ask you for a name. So don't worry about. So it will ask you for a name. That means what uh, of sort of part you are going to create. It will ask you at the starting. Okay. So now can you notice the three planes here on the screen?
Yes, sir.
So that
Yes,
is
sir.
top plane, right plane, and the front plane. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So just a minute. Sorry for the inconvenience. I was getting a call continuously. So now what you have to do is you don't worry about the planes right now, just because you are going to learn Sketcher today. So you don't need to worry about these planes. So you just worry about the sketch. Okay. So this is called as the front face of the software. The front face is nothing but it is in 3D. Okay. So front face is nothing but you are in 3D now. So the sketches will be done only in the back face of the software. Okay. All the things will be done only in the back face of the software. So that is nothing but all the sketches. The 3D work will be done only in the front face of the software. That is nothing but here what you are going to see now. So here you can notice this is called as the part navigating tree. So this is very much important. This part navigating tree will save each and every step what you are doing since from the starting of the software. Okay. So to enter into the Sketcher workbench, you just need to select any one of this plane. See, if I select this, so now you can notice I've been entered into the 2D workspace. That is nothing but you can only see two axes and a single plane, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now this is very much important. The major important thing in CATIA is nothing but the mouse operations what we have. So how many buttons are there in a mouse?
Two buttons.
Oh, come on.
2 plus 1, sir. Scrolling.
Scrolling, right? In
Yes, sir.
scrolling also you have a click, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is
Three.
very much three. If we go upon clicking, we have four. Okay. So we have three clicks and a scroll. So now what we do is, so the MB1 what we say, so that is nothing but the mouse button one. So that is nothing but your left click. MB1 what we call it as is a left click. In the left click, it is used to select the tools. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So left click it is used to select the tools, and the right click it is used for the extra options. For example, see if you just give a click on this blank point, you'll get the extra options here. Okay. So the scroll, it is used to manipulate this tree. You can notice, right? It is being
Yes, sir.
going upwards and downwards. If you want to zoom in and zoom out, just press the control button and then scroll. It will be zoomed in and it will be zoomed out. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now to zoom in and zoom out in this particular area, so what you have to do is, see, I'll tell you. So to zoom in and zoom out on the sketching screen or any part modeling screen, so what you have to do is click and hold the cursor click. Okay, so there is a click in the cursor, right? So just press and hold, and you can notice the arrow mark will be turned into a plus mark symbol, right?
Yes,
Can you
sir.
know? See, once it is converted into a plus mark, so don't leave the cursor click, just give one click of right. So just give a one right click, then the cursor will be converted into a doubled arrow mark. If you push your mouse towards the screen, it will be zoomed in. And if you pull the mouse towards you, it will be zoomed out. Okay. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
To pan the screen, what you have to do is you just need to click the cursor and just move this mouse. It will be panned. Okay, so that is nothing but it will be taking the action of pan. Okay, so once you enter into this sketcher workbench, the major important things, what will you notice, and what are all the things to be switched on and what are all the things should not be switched on. Okay, so once you enter into the sketcher workbench, you can do one thing. Okay, so what you can do is, can you notice this blank space here
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
or here? Just give a right click here, directly go to customize. So once you go to customize, just come to this toolbars. So once you click on this toolbars, so you just click on restore all contents, say okay to it, and say restore positions to it. So what this thing will do is it will bring all the sketch related tools towards to the screen. Okay, so that means each and everything will look like just now you have started the software. So once it is done, you just need to search for the sketch tools. Can you notice the sketch tools here?
Yes, sir.
So this guy is very much important. So the first thing in the sketch tool is called as grid. So what we prefer in CATIA Sketcher is this grid should always be on. So this thing should not be off. Why means, say, if I switch off this and somehow it has been converted into isometric view, can you be able to identify whether it is in 2D or 3D?
Mm.
So it looks like you are in 3D, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So once this grid is on, so this will be always on. See, it cannot be hidden. So it will always be showing on the screen. So this grids only comes when you are in 2D workspace. Okay. So once like this, if your planes has been tilted, can you notice this normal view?
Yes, sir.
So just click on this. It will be making the view normal to you. So that means the plane what you have selected, it will be exactly parallel to you. Okay. So the next thing what we have, it is called as snap to point. We always switch off the snap to point. Why? Because see, if I switch on this and if I try to create something, so can you notice where the cursor is being moved?
Yes, sir.
It is only moving on that what we say, that grids, right?
Yes, sir.
So is this the dimensions what we use every time in our mechanical drawings?
No, no, no.
So we go with some decimal values also, right?
Yes, sir.
So if this grid, if this snap to point is on, you can't be able to switch, or you can't be able to give the decimal values. Okay, so that's why what we'll do is we'll always switch off the snap to point. So that means now it is free to move. Okay. Okay, so the next thing what we have is called as construction or standard element. It is a kind of thing which is used sometimes and which is not used sometimes. So what is the time we use and what is the time we don't use means, for example, say I have a line from here to here, and I need a support to this line from this horizontal plane. So to give that support, if I use this normal line and if I come back to my 3D model, see, even this line is being highlighted, right?
Yes, sir.
But what I want is I want this as a support, but I don't want this line to be appearing in 3D. So at that time, what we'll do is I'll just select this line and I'll just switch on this guy. Now, if I say exit to this, so only that line will be appearing. So this line will be off, switched off. Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So that means if you switch on that thing and if you create any part or any line, So that thing will be only applicable in the 2D workspace. It cannot be highlighted or you cannot apply any action in the 3D. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next very important things are called as the geometrical dimensions and geometrical constraints. So these two things are very much important. I'll explain you at the end of this sketcher. So that means once I'll be ending this sketcher, I'll explain you this too. Okay. So now to get the tools of the sketcher workbench or any workbench tools, if you want to calculate or if you want to see where are all the tools you have regarding that particular workbench. So you have to search in insert. Can you notice this insert here? So once you click on
Sir.
this, once you click on this insert, you'll get constraints. So in this, this is a constraint what we are going to use continuously. So next is called as profiles, in which we have predefined profiles, circles, conics, splines, line, axes, and points. At the same times, we have operations that is nothing but fillet and chamfer. So re-elimination tools, transformation tools, and 3D geometries. By using this much of the tools, you have to create 2D sketches. And after this completion of 2D sketches, then we'll directly move on to 3D and we'll see how the 3D works. Okay. So see here, whether you can take this 2D sketching tools from here, or you can take it from the shortcuts. Can you notice the shortcut here? So if you want to make it horizontal, just click it, drag it and press shift to it. So it will be converted to horizontal. Can you notice this profiles?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now tell me, do you want me guys to explain the tools from the shortcuts, or should I take this from inserts?
No, sir. You can explain by shortcuts only.
Shortcuts only, sir.
Okay, just because the shortcuts is the thing what you have to learn. Okay, so you can't go
Okay,
every
sir.
time here. Okay, so very good. Now the first tool what we have is called as profile. So profile is a thing which is used to create continuously. For example, see. So once this part is completed, that means once I close this, so the tool will be automatically switched off. Okay, so you don't worry about the dimensions earlier. So in each and every modeling software, the dimensions will be given later on. Okay, it's not like your AutoCAD. So at that particular time only you have to give the dimensions. It's not like that. So you can give the dimensions later on. Okay. So in this next what we have is called as the predefined profiles. In this predefined profiles, the first tool is called as a rectangle. It is nothing but, so just give the first point and the diagonal point, a rectangle will be created. At the same time, we have a thing called oriented rectangle. This rectangle is used to give some inclination angle. For example, this is the inclination angle and this is the rectangle what we have created, and you can assign the angle whatever you want later on. So next what we have, it is called as the parallelogram. So you know parallelogram. So the one end of the parallelogram will be fixed and another three ends of the parallelogram will be moving. The equal sides, the sides will be equal to each other, and the opposite sides will be equal and parallel to each other. Okay, so you can notice this parallel symbols here. So next what we have, this is called a slot or elongated hole. So this elongated holes plays a very much important role in our modeling softwares. Okay, see, so it is nothing but two holes. See, it is called as slot. So here you can assign the radius and the distance between these two circles later on. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So the same way we have a circular elongated hole, in which what you have to do is it will be created just like an arc. So the compass arc. So this is the center point. So this is the start point of the arc and this is the end point of the arc. Upon that, it will be created exactly. So later on, you can assign the dimensions to this. So next we have a thing called, this is called as a keyhole profile, which is used basically. So just click it and draw it. So a keyhole type of profile will be created. Again, you can assign the distance between these two as well as the radius to this circle. Okay. So next we have a thing called hexagon. It's a direct hexagon, not a polygon. So only 6 number of sides can be created here. Okay. So next we have a thing called centered rectangle. So just give a click here. So center rectangle will be created. So this thing what happens means, even if you try to vary this line, each and every nook and corner of that rectangle will be changed. Okay, so these things will be connected each one to other. So this is called a centered parallelogram. The centered parallelogram is used upon two intersected lines like this. So once you have these two kind of intersected lines, just select them and a parallelogram will be created. Here, these two lines will be exactly parallel to each other. And this will be exactly 90° to these things, okay?
Yes, sir.
Am I going fast?
No,
No,
sir.
no, fine, sir.
Okay, great.
No, sir.
Okay. So now we'll just move to this circles. So here in the circles, we have the basic circles here. The first one is called as a normal circle. So this circles will start exactly from the center. Just give a click here and just drag it. A circle will be created. Later on, the radius and the diameter can be given to it. So next we have 3-point circle or perimetric circle, what we call. So these kind of circles are used when you have three unknown point values like this. So you don't know exactly the radius or the diameter between this, but you want a circle which should be touching to this 3 points. At that time, we'll go with this 3-point circle. Just select this as a point, the second point, and the third point. A circle will be created. Okay. So next, what we have circle using coordinate. So now this is the first time you are seeing a dialog box in CATIA. So this kind of appearance is called as dialog box. So here, wherever you see this blue kind of highlighting, that means there you can easily assign the manual entries. Okay. Now it is asking you for the horizontal distance. I'll assign it as some 50. And next it is asking for a vertical distance. I'll give it as some 50. Now it is asking for the radius of the circle. I'll keep it as 10. And if I say OK to this, you can notice the circle has been created by taking vertically 50 and horizontally 50, and then circle will be created with the radius 10. Okay. So this is called as circle using coordinates. So next what we have, it is called as a tritangent circle. So here you should have three lines upon which a circle will be created by using these three lines as tangency. So once I complete selecting this, you can notice three circles. One circle which is exactly tangent to this. And you can notice some green symbols here, right? So this symbol.
Yes, sir.
So this symbol is called as tangency symbol. Okay. So this is called as coincident. Okay. I'll explain you once I'll come to this geometrical constraints. I'll explain you each and every constraint. Okay. So next we have 3-point arc. So that is nothing but it will start from the start point, center point, and the end point you have to give. So instead of this arc, what arc we prefer is called as this arc. That is nothing, 3-point arc starting with limits. So that means in this arc, what you'll do is you'll give the starting point, ending point, then you'll assign the center point to that particular arc. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So next we have a normal arc, that is nothing but your just like your compass arc, what I have told you. So it will start with the center point, start point, and the end point, and what sort of arc length you want to give, we can give later on. Even if you want to change it, you can change the arc length. Okay. So this is what we have in circles. So now we'll just move on to the spline. So spline is nothing but smooth line is called a spline. Okay. So the smooth line is called a spline. So here you can just click it. So just give the points wherever you want. So that kind of spline will be created. So but the important thing in this spline is nothing but these points. Can you notice these points? So
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
these points are called as the controlling points. Again, if you want to change the orientation of this line, you can easily change this. Okay. See
Yes, sir.
how you want, you can convert it. So at the same time, we have connect. Connect is used to connect between these 2 points. Okay, just select these 2 points. So the first point and the second point. So it will be connected in an exact spline manner. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any issues?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Great.
Chappu.
So now we'll just move on to this ellipse. So ellipse is nothing but it's a oval shape. So how many radiuses and diameter will get in ellipse?
Radius.
Hmm. So for a normal circle, we have either a radius or a diameter. Okay. But in ellipse, we have
Two.
two diameters or
Two.
two radiuses, right? So that is nothing but, so the first one what will give is called as the major radius and the minor radius. Okay. So next we have parabola and hyperbola. So this is nothing but the parabola of focus. Just give a point to it. So it will need some starting point and a ending point. So this is nothing but a parabola. So we have learned in our 10th classes, trajectory of a projectile is always a parabola, right?
Parabola.
So yeah, that kind of thing. So next what we have is called as the hyperbola of focus. So the hyperbola of focus will be kind of sharp compared to your parabola. See, so the sudden drop, if I took this as a starting point, so there is a sudden leap and a sudden drop, but here it's a gradual steep and a gradual drop. Okay, so that is the difference between a parabola and a hyperbola. So the next thing what we have is called as conics, which we don't use. Instead of this conics, we'll deal with this corner. Okay, so now we have the different types of lines here. So see how if I want to create a line, I can create a line. And if you are noticing one thing, so whenever, see, I have selected a line, if I have drawn a line, automatically the command is being switched off, right? Again, if I want to create a line, again I have to select, again I have to draw. Even again, if I want to create it, again I have to select, again I have to draw. So what if I want to use it continuously means, so what you have to do is, you need to give a double click on that particular commands, okay? Got my point?
Yes,
What
sir.
I'm trying to
Yes,
say.
sir.
Same.
Okay, so just to give a double click on that particular command, and now what you can do is you can continuously use this until and unless you press escape. So once you press escape, the command will be exited. Okay, so not only for line, any command or any tool in CATIA, if you want to use it continuously, you have to give a double click on it. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, great. So next what we have, it is called as an infinite line. So you just need to place it. So it will be infinite. Okay,
Mm.
so how much you zoomed out, it will be infinite. Got it? So this is called as fit in all. For example, say if you have created a small arc like this, so if you have zoomed out a lot and if you want to zoom in suddenly, means just give a click on this, so it will be fit in all. That means it will fit each and everything. Okay,
Okay.
okay. So the next thing what we have, it is called as a bitangent line. So this kind of lines are created between two circles, exactly tangent to those two circles. Okay, so just select this circle and this circle, so a line will be created. If you want to create here, so just you need to pick the point on that circle here and the circle here. Okay, so if you want to take it as a cross tangent from here to here, so just select the circumference here and select the circumference here, it will be crossed one. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay. So next what we have, it is called as a bisecting line. So maybe you have heard about this bisecting lines. Okay, so it will bisect two lines. So just need to select these two lines. A bisector will be created.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
So same way, we have a thing called line normal too. So if you press Control Z, it will be undo. Okay, so Control Z and Control Y, it is used for undo and redo. So next what we have, it is called as a line normal to curve, which is used upon circles like this. So just give a click on this. So just select the circumference of the circle, line will be created, and that line will be 100% exactly perpendicular
Mm.
upon that circle. Okay, so now next thing what we have, it is called as axis line. So again, this axis line works as your construction geometry. So that means it will be only visible in 2D. If you enter into 3D, so there is nothing. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay. So the next thing, say sometimes if you get exit of this workbench and if you select this plane, you are not going to enter into the sketching workbench. So at that time, what you have to do is you need to search for the sketcher. Okay, so
Okay,
search
sir.
for this symbol and select this and select the plane, you will be entering into the sketcher workbench. Okay, so don't worry. So sometimes these things will be hidden somewhere here. Wait, I'll show you. So I'll go to this customize. Reddy, I want you to share the screen later. Okay, so I'll
Okay,
tell
sir.
you how to change this three planes into planes with axes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now I'll just click on this toolbar, restore all contents, restore positions. So now, now can you be able to find the sketch there? No, right?
No, sir.
So can you notice this drawer type of symbol upon this?
Yes, sir.
So just press there and drag it out. So each and everything will come out. Now you can notice the sketch here. So just
Okay.
select the sketch, select on that plane. Don't worry, even if I'm restoring, I'm not getting those things. You don't tell like that. So just
Okay.
try to find out by the way what I have done now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, great. So now after that, we have a thing called a normal point. So it is used to just create some points over there. Okay. So if you want to create points continuously, just give a double click. So just press wherever you want, that points will be created. So just delete them. So next what we have, it is called as point using coordinates. So it is similar to the way what we have done. So that is nothing but circles using coordinates. Just click it, assign some what do we say, that vertical as well as horizontal values. For that 50 and 50, a point will be created. Okay. So next what we have, it is called as equidistance point. This is majorly important thing. For example, see if I have a line and the line dimensions, I'll take it as 100 mm. So now what I'll do, oh my, I guess it has taken 1000 mm,
4,000.
4100 mm. Okay. So now it is 100 mm. I'll select this equidistance point. I'll select this line. I'll say I want to divide this line equally with the distance of 10 mm. And if I say OK to this, so that particular line will be divided exactly into 10 equal parts. Okay. So don't worry about this 0, 9 ones. Okay. So if you round off these things, it will become 10 only. Okay.
Okay.
So software is being trying to be more accurate.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So the next thing what we have, it is called as intersection point. For example, if you have two points like this, I mean two intersected lines like this, and if you want to create a circle exactly at the center of this, so you can do it basically. See, once you come to this exactly intersection points, you can notice both the lines are being highlighted, right?
Yes, sir.
So, but in some cases, if you are not getting that kind of things, means you can go with this intersection point and just select these two lines. Now you can
Mhm.
notice a point has been created.
Mhm.
So that will help you exactly to create that exactly from that particular center. Okay. So lastly, in the sketch tools, so that is nothing but in the profiles, the last command is called a projection point. So maybe you have used in your CAD CAM classes, right? So projection of points. So that is nothing but if you just click it, some things like this, and if you want to project them directly upon this line, so just select this projection point, select all the points and just select this line. So each and every point will be projected exactly 90° to it. Okay. Any issues, any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll just